Hello my friends, welcome back to Three Barrow Farm. I'm just out here for a little weeding session early this morning. We finally have a few days of cooler weather, which is really nice. I love how in Victoria we do have those hot days, so we might have 3 or 4 hot days in a row, but then we always have a bunch of days, maybe 3 if we're lucky, days of cooler weather. So yesterday was 24 and I think today is 25 degrees, and it's just really pleasant out here in the garden. So I'm doing a little bit of weeding, just trying to keep the grass down around the vegetable patches. But as you can see, everything has really taken off. I've got so many tomatoes coming up. We've picked our first, small handful of cherry tomatoes. And the big, massive sunflower up there, which has been attacked by the cockatoos. So a little bit of it has been eaten away, and there are so many more lovely sunflowers in the garden as well. So I just wanted to have a little follow-up on how I went with my planting of seeds this month of January. So these ones coming up here are the zucchinis. These are the Costata Romanesco zucchinis, which they take about 8 weeks to start fruiting, which in this area for me, the frost can come in around 14 weeks. If I'm unlucky, it might come around 12 weeks time. So these zucchinis have enough time to grow, hopefully, and fruit before the frosts come. I've got these pumpkins that are taking over my garden and they're looking so healthy and happy. I'm just letting them come along here and be some living mulch for this part of the garden, and hopefully these zucchinis will just bend over this way and they'll fruit down this way. Now this patch here where I sprinkled some turnip seeds, so I've got turnip seeds going along here. I've only put a small amount of mulch on, but something has come along and dug into this garden and just pushed all the manure out, and I'm not sure what it was. I've sort of pushed some of it back, but I think these carrot seeds that I planted along here have been compromised, or some of them at least have. And then I've got leek seeds along here which haven't germinated yet. And hang on. I think I can see a few germinating just now. So they've been taking a while to come up, and they're coming up under the mulch. What I'm going to do is put some more mulch on this section because, of course, it's been kicked away. But the turnips are coming up. They are sparse. There's not as many as I would have liked from the amount of seed that I did put down along these channels, but there's something. So it's interesting just to see what happens, because we have got hot days now. This soil dries out really fast, so I have to keep the water up to the seeds when they're germinating, and this is really difficult to do. So we just cross our fingers and hope that we're going to get something coming up here. But the sugarcane mulch definitely does keep the moisture in. However, it could be a bit too thick for some things like the carrot seeds to come up, because I've already placed a bit of seed raising mix on top of the seeds, and then when I put the mulch on top, it might just be a bit too thickly put on. But because something has come along and taken away some of it, I'm going to replenish the sugarcane mulch in this area. So another thing that I've planted in January are corn, and I've planted these honey and cream varieties, and I've got some that are coming up. So I'm hopeful that these, and there's more over here coming up too. There's some over this side. I can see one that's come up so far. I'm watering every day, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some corn off these. I also planted some beetroot in my garden here, and they're all coming up. They're all dotted all over the place in these channels. So I'm excited to have another lot of beetroot There are some areas where they're a bit thin and they're not really coming up, but I'm hopeful that I will have enough here in some time to use for dinners and to make some more beetroot relish. There are so many bees around today after the heavy winds yesterday, and they are all over the mint flowers that are now popping up. So I'm excited to have left the flowers to grow because the bees are really enjoying it. And here is one of the watermelon plants. I'm hoping that the watermelon does well in my garden, and I'm trying to get it to grow along the garden instead of over the other vegetables. But as you can see, it's tucking around this lettuce here and going this way as well. So we shall see. It's a bit like the pumpkins as well. They're just sprawling and going around everywhere. So these are the red fig tomatoes that I got some plants off my parents, and we've picked a few of those already. We are getting so many zucchinis. I'm bringing in at least 1 or 2 a day, if not 4 of them. So there are plenty, and I'm going to start freezing them soon. There's one just down there that's pretty much ready to pick. And then here are more tomatoes growing. So these are the Tigerella ones that have the stripes. So here's the label. I got this plant from our local fruit and veg shop. So it's doing really well, despite the fact that it did die back with, that late frost that we had. So it's come back, which is marvelous. And then I've got some more tomatoes growing here. I think these ones are the mortgage lifter tomatoes. So they've still got a way to go, but they're doing really well next to all these sunflowers here. Look, this one's going to have a multitude of sunflower flowers coming off its head. So they're going to be all little tiny ones, which is going to be so cute. And look, there's some bull ants on this one here. I wonder what they're eating on. So it must be something sweet on this sunflower here. And some of the tomatoes are just going really wild. I've tried to maintain them. This one is one that just came up from seed. So it's a cherry tomato. I'm pretty sure it's a cherry tomato. Although they look like they might be turning into slightly bigger tomatoes than that. And then the eggplants are doing really well. Oh, here we've got an eggplant growing on this one, but it's not looking too great. It's got a bit of damage on it. So I may take that one off actually. But we've got lots and lots of flowers on the eggplants. I can't wait to harvest the first eggplant. And so here is the Costata Romanesco zucchini. So that's what it looks like. So this one's almost ready to pick. I'm just waiting to see if it gets a bit fatter in the middle, because the ones that I picked yesterday were thin like that in the middle. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. There's another small one here, which is looking good. That's probably a really good size actually. And there's more on the other plants as well. There are lots of bees buzzing around this cucumber, pollinating the flowers. And I've been picking, I think we've picked 5 or 4 of these cucumbers so far. They're quite peppery all around the skin. So I'm interested to see if I leave them a little bit longer, whether that changes, because I've picked them as early as this and they're still quite peppery. So I think I'm supposed to wait until they are yellower than this. These are too green. So let's just see. I'm going to wait and see, and I'll get back to you as to whether when they're yellower, they're less sort of bitter and peppery. I'm trying to think of a way to describe the flavour, but it doesn't leave a fantastic taste in your mouth. I will experiment with when I pick these and see whether it alters the taste. But if you peel them and eat just the inside, they're so sweet, so lovely. So it's interesting. But yeah, I'm so excited to be having lots of cucumbers coming up in my garden. So there's so much to be grateful for in the garden, especially after we had that late frost and it killed most of our summer plants. It's just lovely to see that the plants are doing so well now, and I'm getting to pick some cucumbers and getting to pick some tomatoes, even though it's a small amount so far. I'm hopeful that we will get a great tomato crop and that I will still be able to put up a lot of sauce and jarred tomatoes in our pantry to get us through the winter time. There are so many chilies on our chili plants as well, and the corn is coming along fine. I'm hoping that the corn got pollinated well. I have learnt a lot this month about corn because I've never really had any issues with corn pollinating until last year. Last year it was very sparse, and this year I have learnt how the corn gets pollinated. So one of you, I think it was over on Instagram, or it may have been here actually, you let me know that the pollen from the tops of the corn plants need to flow down onto the silks of the corn cobs for all of those tiny little kernels to be pollinated. So each silk is connected to a kernel. So this was great to find out. And I noticed when the pollen was dropping and there were a lot of silks out, and I was just brushing them over them, which was fantastic. We have had a few more cobs develop in the recent week though, so I'm wondering how those ones will go and whether we'll have success with those. But it is always wonderful to learn from each other, and this is one of the reasons why I started this channel. I'm really grateful for all of your advice and from learning things from each of you. We've been making lots of beetroot pickle here. I did a session with my mum, which was great. We pickled some of our beetroots together. It really went wonderfully and quickly as well when you do it as a pair rather than doing it by yourself. And I've also processed some apple chutney as well to pop in the pantry, which is fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed that little update on what's happening in my garden right now. It's really hard to get out here and film when it's really hot, but I'm grateful for these cooler days so that I'm able to pop in and just give you a little update. Oh my goodness, a fairy wren has just flown right into my veggie garden over there. Oh, it's so precious. There are so many fairy wrens around in our garden at the moment, and I can't believe one is coming down and entrusting me right here, chatting to you. And there's a female that's just flown in as well. So I've got a male and a female fairy wren. There's two more. Did you see those flying past? I wonder if the camera caught them. Oh, it's so lovely to be sitting out here in the garden. I'm sure they're enjoying the cooler day as well. Can you see him there? Where's he gone? There he is. Oh, that was so lovely to see those fairy wrens come down into my garden while I'm sitting here. That's so lovely. So I can't remember where I finished off before. He's still there. That vibrant blue. I hope I got some footage of him just then. He is frolicking in my garden and enjoying it so much. I don't know where the girls have gone and where the young ones have gone, but I think they flew a bit further. Oh no, there's a couple of them there with him. Oh, so lovely. Anyway, I'm not sure where I left off, but please do shoot me a comment and let me know what you're harvesting at the moment. And if you've had any of these, I think they're called crystal apple. cucumbers. Let me know when you pick them. If you pick them when they're a little bit yellower than this. I think I've picked them when they're quite much, bigger. But yeah, they still have that bitterness on the skin. So I might do some refrigerator pickles with them and see how they go. But yeah, I'm interested to hear from you if you have grown them before. So I'll be back soon again with another video of my summer garden. I'm not sure what that video entails, but I hope you enjoyed seeing how the seeds that I have planted this month have gone. I'm interested to do that following up because I do the what to sow now in cold regions, and I just thought it'd be good to follow up with what I have sown during that month to see if they have germinated and to keep track that way as well. I hope you are enjoying these cooler days, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye, my friends.